Megan, before we dive into the new car, let's take it back to Generation 1. Where did it really all start?
Way back in 1983 for the US, Hein, we had the Mark I Rabbit GTI, a whopping 1.8 liter, 90 horsepower, 5-speed manual, really special car. Started to show Americans that they could have a practical, fun-to-drive car that didn't really compromise on a whole heck of a lot.
So fast track forward, 7 generations on, and now we introduce the Generation 8. And this still has some of those original heritage elements that were present in the Mark I. Talk us through some of those elements.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the very front and you've got some red elements going right through the grille. You've got a large version of the honeycomb elements that carry into the interior as well. So honeycomb is a big GTI piece. You've got red accents throughout the car. You've got red brake calipers. You've got standard plaid cloth sport seats, which take it all the way back to the first generation. And then even on the manual transmission, you'll recognize golf ball details on the Mark 8, just like we had on the Mark I.
And I remember the Mark I had a 14-inch alloy wheel. This guy's got something a little bigger.
Yeah, that's right, Hein. So the 18-inch wheel is standard on the Mark 8 GTI, but for the first time in North America, we're offering an optional 19-inch alloy wheel that you can see here.
And the Mark I had something like, what, 90 horsepower under the hood?
Yeah, 90 horsepower for the US, 1.8 liter, normally aspirated.
Talk to us about what's under this hood.
A little bit of an upgrade. 4th generation of the E888 motor, so still a 2-liter TSI direct fuel injection, which we're familiar with from the previous generation. But now, thanks to advancements in that engine, we're at 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Whoa. And still, just like previous generation GTI, either a 6-speed manual, of course, or the great 7-speed DSG.
And that's a big talking point. I mean, many manufacturers today have walked away from the manual. We as Volkswagen have retained that manual. So an all-new car relative to the Mark 7, improved enhancements to suspension, driving aids, etc. as well?
So everything on the vehicle has been optimized from the previous generation, and you're looking at quite a bit more standard content on every trim level. We've retained the same familiar S, SE Autobahn trim level that we had throughout pretty much all of the 7th generation, with more standard content at every trim level as well. So whether it's having LED headlights standard on the S trim, or now having brand new features for the Autobahn trim, such as a heads-up display, or rear heated seats, or ventilated front seats, the new Mark 8 GTI is all about having the same great standard performance and sporty content, but upping the game quite a bit in terms of some of the more luxury or comfort content.
So now the only concern is brand new car, better engine, better suspension, more standard content. Does that mean the price jumps a lot?
I think we have quite a big win here. Yep. We take an S trim manual transmission 2022 brand new GTI built in Wolfsburg, Germany. $29,545 is the MSRP for that car.
Awesome. Should we jump in the interior and talk about the inside?
It's pretty hot. I think that's a good idea.
It's about 100 degrees out here. Let's get in the AC.
Right.
All right, Megan, so I am in the back of the GTI. I'm not the smallest individual, it's 6'5", but relatively comfortable in the back here.
Okay, good
in front
to
of
hear.
me, I can see these beautiful integrated headrest, sporty seats. Do you want to start there?
Yeah, I think that was actually one of our big wins for this generation, Hein. We saw these on the European specification vehicle, and we were worried that they wouldn't come for the US model, and here we are. We're in a US spec GTI, and we've got these beautiful integrated head restraint seats. You've got nice bolstering on the leather vehicle. You've got perforations, which of course mean the Autobahn trim or optional leather seat package on the SE trim. You've got ventilated seats. Heated seats remain standard on GTI, and then that takes me to the standard seat for GTI. Same shape, same look, but the nice new sport plaid material and pattern as well.
Pretty sweet. And I've got my own vents back here with my own AC touch system, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Talk us through the driver's view. I mean, I can still see that chunky GTI steering wheel. I see very much a driver's orientated cockpit from my angle over here.
It's very much at its heart a driver-focused vehicle. This is still a GTI at heart, but at the same time, it's taken the shift towards a very digital future. So I actually love the combination of both digital and connectivity in being a driver's vehicle. So steering wheel, nice paddles with the DSG. We've got nice GTI accents on the leather-wrapped steering wheel also. New haptic feedback buttons, which I actually am a big fan of. I like the way that they respond to touch. You get a little bit audible feedback also. And then PEEP, the new heated steering wheel button. Heated steering wheel being standard on GTI. And then the Digital Cockpit Pro, standard on GTI as well, something we didn't have in previous generation. You'll notice I've got it here in sport mode, which automatically triggers a GTI view that I've customized.
Cool. Yep.
We've got all of our light and sight features here on the digital panel on the left, so automatic headlights, fog lights, defroster even. And then sweeping over here to the right, we've got this beautiful 10.25-inch MIB3 navigation with Discover Pro as well.
And I see that's got no buttons, but I believe those sliders super intuitive, very simple to use. There's an easy furrow there. You can slide between your temps, fan speed, volume, all that stuff is easily controlled. And then I like the very quick kind of access menu just below that with the hazard signs over there. You've got access to your climatronic system, your driver assist systems, your different drive modes, and then also your parking menu, right?
Yeah, so very quick access to all of the climate control. So by the way, a single zone climatronic is standard, with a 3-zone climatronic being standard on Autobahn. Driver assist menu, you can customize those features really easily. Get into the new the drive mode selection menu really easily as well, so no sweat there. And then you just tap out X, get back to the home button for the MIB3 screen, and it's really easy from here.
Cool. Then I noticed just focusing down in the center console, no more big stick shift over there. So talk us through this little interesting buttons we have on there.
So it's a little bit different now. It's a DSG still, same system. It's just shift by wire. So the controls are a little bit different, but rest assured, you still have sport mode. You can still enter in sport mode. You can still manually shift just like before. So no changes there. And what that does do is it frees up a little bit of space here to have some extra storage. We've got a cool adjustable cup holder. Wireless charging is standard. And then we still have an adjustable and opening, sliding center console there. The Mk8 Golf R has this feature as well. Electronic parking brake, new feature for GTI. A really cool start-stop button, which you might notice a little touch there when the car is at rest and it's waiting for you to start.
Right.
It'll pulse like a heartbeat, which is kind of cool.
And of course the manual still gets a proper manual gear stick.
It sure does, yeah, still 6-speed. It's got the golf ball dimples on it as you grip it, so it's got that classic GTI feel.
The other feature I also love is the sunroof, where you just with a slide of the finger basically open the sunroof, which I think is ultra cool too, right?
Yeah.
Super cool. So a lot more tech, a lot more digital, but still a driver-focused cockpit, right?
Yeah, and one of the things you love as being a driver is having a great audio system. And we have an all-new optional Harman Kardon premium sound system on GTI with 480 watts, and it sounds really great.